Oversimplified.
Are you a naive and extremely prepubescent child who is facing an early onset of crippling depression as you struggle to find your place in the chaos of kindergarten? Or perhaps you're just a frustrated individual who is lost and unsure of how to earn other people's respect? Allow me to offer a few pieces of advice. The first thing you should know is that people are dicks, which is exactly why you should treat them well. Suck up to them enough and they'll dish out stuff for you in return. And so your goal is to penetrate into others' circle of trust, because trust me, earning a positive connection to get what you want is way easier than ruling with fear, especially for a single digiter like you. There are always certain archetypes in a social setting with the top dog holding power in the hierarchy. They are the first on your hit list as they are the biggest threat to your security, given that you could be any more insecure than you already are. Get on these guys' good side and you'll earn some powerful allies, as well as preventing any pranksters trying to take you down. They're pretty obvious and stand out. You'll need to earn their respect by showing off your own power or doing them favors. Be careful of being viewed as an errand boy though. Fall into that trap and it's game over. Your next investment is in the intelligence. It is no joke that knowledge is power, and absorbing it through diffusion from these guys will undoubtedly make your kindergarten or whatever life easier. Don't be fooled by spectacles. Usually the smart ones know how to take care of their eyes. Instead, look for key signs of an intellectual. Answers all questions in class right, treats everyone else like they don't matter, looks at the teacher with irritation, or seems to be building a biological weapon of mass destruction. It will be tough to gain their trust if they know how to read people. You will need to work on them slow and try not to become an annoyance to them by asking too many questions. Once you've handled the key roles, you could look to befriending the minority. This includes small groups and loners. They're most likely the same as you, lost and feeling insignificant. You could use this to your advantage to slide into their DMs. Why get these useless carcasses on your side? Simple. The minority is the majority in disguise. Add them all up and they'll become a dangerous swarm. You want to have this power in your hands, or at least not be the target when they decide to revolt against the privileged class. However, before you start meddling with the minority, you'll first want to get in with the popular circle in school, as it will be incredibly hard to penetrate into their group after you've coated yourself with the repelling juices of the minority. Pretend you're rich, and look up some descriptive fanfics to see what fashion people are getting turned up on. This will likely be enough to fit in, as it's all these mindless drones look out for. Aim to get the prettiest and most popular girl under your clutches first. This way you can gain the alliance of all the other girls, and all the guys will have nothing on you. Oh, and no relationships until you graduate from school. Instead, you can make everyone fall for you, but keep them at arm's length. Your quantity of love-driven slaves can increase this way without being cucked by relationship problems. Once you have a balanced ecosystem of superficial friends, your life in kindergarten will be smooth sailing. So now, let us try simulate a scenario where you try to make a place for yourself in kindergarten. Before you begin, you should take as much money with you as possible. The rich are alluring and it will drastically improve your chances out there. As stated before, your first threat will be against the powerful brutes. This guy has just commanded you to give him money and you should reluctantly do so. It would be bad if you got on their bad side on the first day of school. However, money holds more power than a human life, and so you should soon devise a plan to get it back. Use the teacher to set up a fight and frame him for domestic violence, making sure to grasp the opportunity to unabashedly trash talk him about his daddy issues. You will suffer a few wounds, but the bully will be successfully eliminated. This frees up the dominion over the other students, gaining you their respect as the new democratic guardian. Your injuries will also serve to display the toughness of your shredded 5-year-old body. Your acts of heroism may quickly attract hormonal girls that want to smash. Use this opportunity to sweet talk them under your wing, but be careful. From a very young age, popular girls learn to be deceitful in order to take advantage of their beauty and your naivety. If you sense any immediate danger, you should pull out immediately, or else you may find it will develop into something big that will ruin your future. You must always stay one step ahead of them, and keep a secondary protection device close. Always have more dirt on them than they do on you, and you'll be able to counter them if they choose to pull anything on you. A safety net is to tell people that you are a massive weeb and are only interested in 2D girls. This will repel any unsavory individuals if you cannot be bothered interacting with people. If I didn't mention before, you'll be wanting to get the most powerful ally on your side, the teacher. The teacher is undoubtedly at the top of the food chain, and they can help you cruise through life if you suck up to them. As a bonus, you can use your gold stars to get free stuff off them, which is always welcome. You should still seek to appease your fellow colleagues and do them favors. Remember that everything is an investment, and you'll get your payback in interest. However, don't do anything that could cause you conflict with other factions or is out of your capabilities. Judge where you buy your stocks closely. If your classmates are participating in criminal activities, do your best to cut any association with them. Remember that kindergarten is the fight to set your future. Do make sure, however, to take advantage of their spoils without being involved, before exposing them under an anonymous disguise. The highest level play would be to destroy their organization and rebuild your own covert operation in order to control the monopoly, although this is a high-risk entrepreneurship that requires much work. The minority may propose odd tasks for you, but doing them will grant you direct entry into their circle of trust. You should also take all the free stuff you can get, especially food. The largest 4 forms of kindergarten liquidity are money, food, stationery, and toys. If you are given poisoned food to feed the school bully, take the deal, as you get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You will pass the trial of friendship, and the poisoning victim will have no idea what did them in. In fact, they will think you gave them free food and shower you in appreciation whilst they ascend to heaven. When befriending the intelligence, make sure to remember what you learned from them. You cannot cut corners or you'll be left behind in their journey for knowledge. If your intelligence stat doesn't meet the requirements, you will not be able to join their party, and so you should train your mind as often as possible. Of course, this should be done in moderation, as those who are too intellectually superior are often met with hostility and illogical jealous rage. Purposefully acting stupid can even sometimes be the optimal choice depending on the situation. It would be a tough character setup that you would have to play from the beginning, and make sure it doesn't affect your academic standing. There is always the loner who feels as though they don't belong. This makes them an extremely vulnerable target that will relent to any signs of friendliness. Even if they are a target of disdain by the other kids, extend your hand anyway. You will be viewed as a good Samaritan showing pity to the trash of society. It is always useful to have accomplices who are underdogs. The silent ones sometimes have more power than the popular. But of course, if worse comes to worse, a situation may arise where your relationship with the minority will damage your reputation. Especially if it can increase your influence with other factions, sacrifice them as a scapegoat to ensure your survival. Get close enough to someone and you will be able to grasp their darkest secrets. Knowledge is power. You will be able to exploit their generosity to a trustworthy friend and exploit their weaknesses to manipulate them if the situation arises. Sometimes the secret is too dark and will corrupt you if you get in any deeper. For example, if they are a serial dog killer. This can also be signs of someone mentally unstable. In this case, you should evacuate from them as quickly as possible. One moment they could be laughing along with you, the next moment they could be laughing at your corpse as they cut open your stomach and insert dog heads to revive their previous pet dog through alchemy. You must realize that everyone is more dangerous than you. You are merely a toddler waving a red flag at mindless raging bulls. Once you have entwined everyone into your manipulative web, you should be able to live a fulfilling life in kindergarten. Of course, this applies to anyone in a social setting. Alternatively, no one can make your life hell if you send them to hell first. Remember your 4 targets: the power, intelligence, minority, and the popular. Because once you have these in your control, you'll be the biggest pimp around.